Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. Today we're playing e4 as per usual. Our opponent responds with a Sicilian, so of course the mengarini here will be employed. a3, beautiful, beautiful little line against the Sicilian, especially when knight c6, so we can play b4, sacrifice this pawn, kick the knight back there to c6, and then claim the full center with d4, pre-moving e takes d5, just to stress them out, because when they do it, knight to a3, we are going to go for this beautiful bit of preparation, where we swing the knight to the edge because simply there's just a pawn on c3, which is very pleasantly defending our d4 pawn, kind of nullifying the attack of these two pieces. But the reason we want to go via here, I mean, you know, we could go via here, but there's a pawn there, so we go to a3 to then go into b5. b5, the square that is just defining of this line in the mengarini. The knight now threatens to win the queen. It also threatens to win a rook. This is a fat family fork. Now, there's a line here with queen d8, because queen d8 is the most reasonable move. I mean, you want to move your queen, probably, otherwise there's this fork. If you go bishop d6, there's a very interesting line with bishop c4, I believe. Because if you take, then we take the bishop, and that's a beautiful move. But obviously we can look at that if we see it. Our opponent already has spent a minute of their time now deciding how to play against this, and we've spent 20 seconds. I mean, I could have spent 2. This is just such a pleasant way to play against the Sicilian. So I'd really recommend, if you don't know this line, or like the back of your hand as white, get to knowing this line like the back of your hand as white. It's so dynamic, and already I think we have a big advantage. Queen goes back to d7. Okay. I'm just going to push the pawn. Where's this knight going? You're going to go here? I don't think so. You're going to go here? I don't think so. You're going to go here? I do not think so. Are you going to go back to b8? That would be a depressing move to play. But maybe it's the best move, because if you go here, I'm going to play d6, and if you move the knight again, this pawn will not only have attacked your knight, but will have supported the knight's infiltration to c7, and we will fork here, and we will win the rook, and life will be looking good. So this is not a move. These are, of course, not moves, and e5 is full, so you have to just regress with this knight here, d6. Thank you very much. This is it's the most sort of intuitive move, once you've ruled out jumping forward, is to not go onto the back rank. But it is a huge mistake, I believe, because yeah, we attack that knight, and if you don't want to lose it, you have to move it, and wherever you move it, check is going to be a huge problem. This d pawn storming through the center here, absolutely beautiful stuff. If knight to d5 defending this square, we can just take this, and if the knight goes anywhere else, we can go knight c7. If they, yeah, I mean, check, and the king has to move, as well as the fact that we get this rook. Trying to work out, I mean, they're going to pick up this pawn. They might be able to trap my knight, although I could probably take on a7. Yeah, we're just going to take the rook here. And I think we should be doing well, but it's definitely far from obvious yet. It's far from trivial, I should say. If I take this, I'm kind of threatening this, but then maybe I get all my pieces tangled up and it's not a good idea. Because the thing is, I have moved no pieces off the back rank. We have literally gone here, used a pawn, and then gone here and here with the knight. We've moved the knight 4 times. We're in a winning position, but we've just gone and dominated a 2062 rated player with 1 piece, basically, which is so funny and so stupid. But I think now we should probably address the fact that this is a problem, and maybe just develop a knight, honestly. And if you push, I go here, and if you take, I take here, and we're all fine. If you go check, I go bishop here, and if you take, I take, and yeah, we're fine. So I think knight f3 seems like a very reasonable move. Now, our opponent's going to have to put in some effort into recapturing this knight. So they play b6, of course. Now, I cannot take this because it's defended by the queen, although that gives me an idea. The queen's also defending this bishop. Now, the knight's defending this bishop as well. But how do we come up with tactical ideas? Well, we look at where we can make forcing moves. If we take here, the queen's going to have to recapture, which will draw one of the defenders away from this bishop, which is attacked admittedly only once. However, if we can work out a way to, for instance, bishop d3, attack this knight. Ooh, bishop d3, imagine for instance knight f6, then we would take, and win this. So bishop d3, the threat, I guess, is that they move their queen to attack my knight, still defend the bishop. Oh, whoa. Bishop d3 looks beautiful. We're going to play it. The idea being that this knight is defending the bishop. If this knight moves, it will no longer be defending the bishop. And then maybe there will be some tactic that manifests from the fact that we have rook takes here, drawing the queen across to then take this with check. Like, this could very much be an idea. Or, oh my days, do we have bishop b5? If you take here, then I take this with check. And you can go back, but then I trade this off and pick up the... Bishop b5 looks absolutely beautiful. I think this is just a great move. Bishop to b5, sacrificing the bishop to draw the queen away. This is lovely. Our bishop stopped off here to move the knight. We've removed one defender. The queen moves across. But bang. We take here with check. And I think they should have accepted our bishop. I don't know why they didn't accept our bishop. I mean, queen b7 makes very little sense to me. The king has literally no moves, by the way. So you have to block here. You have to play bishop blocks or queen blocks. If you play queen blocks, I take your queen. If you play bishop blocks, we go takes, trade everything off, and finally the rook that came alive due to our pawn sacrifice early in the game, right early in the game where we open that A file, the rook comes in, check. We are up far too much material for it to be worth our opponent carrying on. I mean, maybe we could have taken here with check and then tried to take on f7, but the point is we were going to save our knight. Beautiful game. I mean, queen b7, an obvious blunder. We'll look at it in the analysis. Okay, so here we are in the analysis, 95% accurate, 1 inaccuracy, and the only reason it's not 100% accurate is because our inaccuracy was going for this mengarini gambit. The point is, though, that if we look at the Masters database, b4 here, by far, 95%, I'm seeing 95 a lot today, 95% of players are playing b4. This is not an inaccuracy, this is a book move. Magnus Carlsen has played this move. I do not need to hear anything else from the Lee Chess engine. This was a completely perfect game, just basically nothing wrong with it at all, and a lovely conversion. So b4 here, this was of course the mengarini Sicilian, and then this line where we claim the full center, claim really open and just, you know, dynamic ideas, developing the bishops, also of course the open A file for the rook. After d5, takes, knight to a3. The best move here is queen a5. If I open the database and have a look at my personal games, me as white, I've had this position where I've played knight a3 49 times, and every time I played knight a3, I've won 65% and only lost 33%. Recently, look at this, I've just absolutely dominated in this position. Awesome stuff. But the point is that after knight a3, I have seen queen a5 literally twice, 4% of the time. What I normally see is knight f6, or maybe e5, or maybe e6, and e5 here is a mistake. And then knight b5, and then the queen goes back. Now, this is a blunder, because of course, wait, if we turn on the engine here, I can play d5. I can chase this knight, and the best move here is to go knight f6, and after I take, to I think recapture, and I mean, after a trade, you want to take with the king, what? I guess I have to go back to a3 with my knight, and there's some compensation, but we have a knight for 2 pawns. Easily this game would be, or we could easily consider this an opening success. However, the knight moves. And of course d6, marching through there, you cannot move this knight now. The best move is rook to b8, and after we take, I would assume, yeah, you trade this off, take here, and again, it's a knight for 2 pawns, but at the same time, it's a knight for 2, like, I'm going to win this, I'm going to go knight f3, very easy to develop, maybe even give a check here. It's a completely winning position. So, opponent tries to move, we go knight c7, they have to move the king, otherwise they lose the queen, and then after takes, bishop takes, it did want me to go rook a7 immediately, preventing the idea of b6. I just got a little bit scared that maybe, you know, maybe they develop, and maybe, I guess this comes out with tempo on the queen. I just thought maybe there's bishop c5 and some sacrifice here, my king gets brought out, and then all of these pieces just swarm me. It's, I think, easier to try and just develop ourselves. It wants g4 here, but bishop d3 is completely reasonable as well, because after they move the knight, bishop b5. Wait for the engine. Hopefully it catches up and agrees. Catches up with my genius intellect. That was completely sarcastic. Please forgive me. Okay, it wants knight g5 threatening this fork, but bishop b5 is something that is... It only drops the eval by 0.5. We are still completely winning. The point being that we defer the queen to then take the bishop, and after they block, we can just trade and then take here, or take here. But yeah, taking on a7 after a bit of development, so I made sure my position was safe. Instead, they played queen b6, queen b7, which makes no sense. Taking here with check, blocking, and again, I should have taken here actually. I think they'd have resigned anyway, but just trading this off and then playing rook takes, the game is just completely over. They have 2 knights and a rook. The rook can't even move. The king is going to be the most active piece after the best move. Knight g5. You need to defend my threat of taking here. And, like, there's just... Okay, look at the position. All of black's pieces are in a quarter of the board. It makes sense that they resigned. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you will be tempted to play this line of the mengarini. I've made a video basically detailing how to play this. I hopefully link that in the description if I remember in a few hours time after editing this video. But thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining the channel as a member if you really enjoy my content. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.